Welcome back to you, my scrumptious pumpkin. Today, we're going to be speaking about Bitcoin and, of course, the crowd, friends. You know, the crowd expects a $120,000 Bitcoin. Isn't that interesting, though? Let's continue the logic, because when I share this to you, you're going to be shocked what the market is pricing in. The market is pricing in doom for Bitcoin without you even knowing it. Look at this. The crowd expects a $120,000 Bitcoin average. And this is real numbers, real surveys. Who conducted all of these? Me. Not only did I do the surveys myself, I grabbed them from multiple retail YouTubers, different places on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere, friends. I grabbed it. I've seen average prices. I know the distribution, okay? And yes, this does include the people who have $600,000 and $700,000 Bitcoin with the gold flippening. The average is about 120. All right, now let's continue. We know Bitcoin in every bear market drops a lot. It drops at least 70%. Okay, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. We can just go back in Bitcoin's history, friends, and you can just see with every bear market that drops, it gets smaller, but it's still devastating. I mean, this one you have like 94%. This one you have, let's see it now. First one, friends, 2013, 93, 94. You have this, 86. You have this, 84. And what did we have in our one? We had 77. All right, we had 77%, around there, 77%. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going to happen in our one, because it's quite clear, right? Even a 70% drop, right? If we go to Bitcoin, friends, if we go to 120K, which is up here, we go to 120K and we drop 70%. Look where that brings us, man. I'm going to zoom out for you. That brings us to literally 36K. Isn't that crazy? We went to 120K and we dropped to 36K. The market is literally, it's pricing in doom already. Ouch. All right. Now, obviously, look, if you want to entertain the thought that Bitcoin's not going to have another bear market and we won't drop 70%, all right, well, you're basically saying this time is different. Look around you. Do you really think it's not going to happen again? All right, it's not backstopped by the government, okay? So the crowd's best case is a $36,000 Bitcoin in 2026. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? What's going on here? What's going on? All right. By the way, I'm going to have to pump some music just so you're very aware. How does that make sense? $36,000 Bitcoin. Well, now we've seen it, right? The average crowd expectation is 120K. Do you know how devastating that would be, by the way? Because firstly, not only would we not clear above 100K, but if we dropped 70% here, because if we go all the way back down here, friends, 36K in 2026. You know this point here? I'm going to go sideways. Stretch it out. Look at this. It would be almost 2,000 days. I've done this so many times. 2,000 days of going nowhere. 5.5 years. Look at this, friends. Look at this. We're going to zoom in right now. Look at this myth. I've written this here so you never forget it. Bitcoin is always profitable after 4 years of holding. Myth. It's a myth. That 4-year halvening, 4-year cycle, it's good when it's working. But what if it doesn't? What if it stops working at some point just as everybody's trapped? And there's one thing I know about markets. It never traps you by just going down forever. It never does that. It always gives hope. Always. That's why I've always postulated, I wonder if Bitcoin just does some super massive up-only run, charges up to 80 or 90K and makes everybody think, you know what? We're actually going to have a great year. Continuing on. All right. So that's why we just have to be ready. If you're in Bitcoin, if you have, like, there's people with 100% Bitcoin allocation, your target's 3x from here. It's actually less, 2.8x, right? And then you're going to get out, it's going to go back down, and you're basically saying that you're the genius who's going to sell 120K, and then it's going to go back down and round trip everybody for 5.5 years. The crowd never wins, friends. You know this by now. I also want to show this with you. Okay, so you know Bitcoin's screwed. It's at the top of the S-curve. We've had QE couldn't break the diminishing gains. 0% rates couldn't make it break the diminishing gains. Nothing's made it break the diminishing gains. Nothing. It's just programmed into the adoption of society. And if you really want to know, friends, it's because you can't just throw in one little piece of news and change something as fundamental as Bitcoin. It comes from the Satoshi law and the average money printing and how it's spread throughout the economy and the network effect and the growth rates. There's so many things that come in. For you just to release one little piece of news, it's very hard for you to do it. You have to get like tremendous news. And I mean, like the US Fed announces tomorrow, all right, we're literally printing money and we're just going to buy Bitcoin. Okay, that would be something fundamentally big. All right, but look at this, okay? Most people still going to get wrecked. So they go halfway. They go, okay, well, I know that, okay, Bitcoin, I'm late. All right, Max Kaiser bought it for $1. Roger Ver bought it for $1. It's now $44,000, over 40,000. Okay, I'm buying their bag 40,000x. What can I do? Okay, well, now they know, okay, the contrarian things to do is to go into altcoins. But how do they do it? They always do it wrong. Okay, so if you want to know why 95% of people lose money in crypto, literally all we got to do is just study their pattern of behavior. They will see something on a linear chart and it'll be plus 800%. And then the retailer that buys that coin, because the influencer said it did 800%, they say it can do another 800%. And don't think if you're in Bitcoin, you're immune to this, friends. I'm just going to tell you right now. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, this is, but just to let you know, this is one of the worst fallacies of investors. This is why everybody gets wrecked. This is why everybody buys tops and sells bottoms. It's because humans, we think in linear terms. We think, okay, it's been bad for the past 6 months to a year. It's going to be bad for another year. That's why everybody sold the bottom at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 Bitcoin. And then why does everybody buy the top? They go, well, it's been great for a year. It's going to keep going great. That's how you end up buying the tops. Now, one of the traps I initially thought, friends, was this. If we finish this year at like literally 40K, think about if Bitcoin at the beginning of next year is 80K, like right here. You see that line? That's a 2x. Think about this. Remember I told you everybody thinks in linear terms? I wouldn't be surprised if we made it up here. Everybody would say, all right, now that we made a 2x, we're probably going to get another 2x. That's what everybody expects. But then instead of a 2x, we get a minus 50%, almost like a minus 2x. You see how the crowd constantly traps themselves at the tops and the bottoms. And look, I've even watched, friends, I made a video, you get to watch it soon. Plan B, who made the stock to flow model, he can't conceptualize that it's possible Bitcoin stops under 100,000 this cycle. Literally 0% chance. He's got like negative percent chance on that. And he really believes we're in early adoption cycle. I'm like, excuse me. The government is the most conservative institution ever. They have signed off on papers to give you the Bitcoin ETF. You are not in the early 3% of innovation when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay? Elon Musk told the whole world about Bitcoin. And we gave you infinite rates, infinite QE. The price that we got is the price that the market's going to give. You're going to learn that lesson as well from in markets, friends. That's right. People always say, you know, you take what the market gives you. And that's what it is. It's just that people don't want to accept it. So yeah, we do get our direction right up. But the magnitude of the direction, that's the discrepancy. Because greed eventually takes over. That's why obviously people come to altcoins and they go, okay, I know something's going on with these altcoins, right? But after people buy something after it's gone up, whilst they're still high on the euphoria, they will be dumped on every single time. You've seen it in the charts, right? You've seen it in distribution. So many places, there are just regions of just danger. The charts stop chopping around. That's distribution. That's you getting dumped on, okay? This is the Bitcoin chart, friends. Look at this, okay? If this became a famous Wyckoff pattern, look at this. What is this? What do you think that is, friends? This is insiders dumping Bitcoin before the Bitcoin ban in China. This is F2 pool. By the way, F2 pool dumped heaps here. They dumped heaps here. They were dumping like $20,000 Bitcoin clips. Okay, now I'm not just blaming one Chinese mining group F2 pool. There's a lot of other insider scum, but they knew. They knew, okay? So look, that's what the chart pattern appears. It's like, something's going on, right? And then snap. That's what we call a distribution phase like that. And guess what? We found out that in the bottom, who was buying Bitcoin? Roca Negra, now confirmed with their private trust, already made a video. Who's buying down here? People who know the future. Go back as well. Who was selling Bitcoin up here? The insider Chinese companies that knew the government was going to ban Bitcoin. They knew coincidentally, okay, we better dump. All right. What about here? Who was buying Bitcoin? It's the people, Roca Negra, who knew the ETF is coming. You see how these footprints, they show up in the charts. You don't need to know the story. You don't even need to know the players. You just need to know, all right, something fancy is happening on here. Somebody is doing something. That's why we're going to be on the lookout for ATK. And retailers in all their altcoins, bless their hearts, they'll be watching coins that have already gone up 10x. And they'll be following influencers, like right now. Buy Bonk, buy Bonk's girlfriend. What about Bonk's sister? All these coins, trash, you're getting dumped on. Just to let you know, friends, it's been like we're not guessing. Soylana VCs have been unloading millions and millions and millions of Soylana tokens onto the market. This is the Soylana chart. Now, you can't think, okay, I found that they're selling, I'm going to get out. Okay, they're not stupid. They don't get out over a number of time. Okay, friends, this is how the game works. It's very nefarious. They will commit to a period of like 4 to 8 weeks of media promotion and marketing in the background. They pay influencers. They'll pay channels. They'll do sponsorships. They get their name out there. Don't think they don't. They pay the media companies, write articles about us. All right. And during this time, they are just sitting on the offers. All right. So it's literally the same as I write you an essay about why bananas are the greatest thing ever. And you don't know, I supply the bananas at your local supermarket store. Okay. I literally put them, I've got them like $10 a kilo. And I'm just telling you about how great bananas are. And I know on average, some of you are just going to go, oh, wow, bananas. I read something about them being good. That's what's happening. All right. These people got embarrassed by SBF and they're going to pretend, no, it's in the past. It's in the past. No, it's not. Okay. They got embarrassed. You're going to see when people keep distributing. But friends, during the green candles, no one wants to believe it. It's only when the red candles come. You can already see it in your mind. We're going to be putting big fat red screenshots of candles going down when the narrative has shifted. All the locusts, the scum, have shifted to another chain to go make their little 2% yield and buy degen trash coins. When they've shifted out, we're literally going to go, hey, Soylana, what happened? You guys literally said you were the future. But it's the same thing as Arbitrum, Optimism, Coinbase. Okay, every chain goes through this. It's just locusts moving around. And by the time we hear about it, it's too late. You really got to believe and be buying early. So this zone, you don't know how high it can go. Obviously, it can keep going up forever. Everything can always keep going up. But just know that, okay, if you're buying here, who are you buying from? And who are you buying with? You're buying from the VCs who are dumping, literally on-chain, Galaxy Digital dumping, right? Shout out to Mike Novogratz, friend of the channel. He's been dumping though. He'll tell you to your face. He's dumping, okay? Because it's on-chain. We can all see it, okay? If you're buying it from him. You are buying as well people who have no care about Soylana. They're just retweeting that Ethereum's dead. They have no idea what the hell's going on, man. That's who you're buying with. Weak hands. Do you really want to be on that side of the boat? But apparently, people do. That's why they are in Euphoria. That's why they're going to sit there while the bag's being distributed on. That's why the worst game is how it works. It's like people love what happens is, friends. You see that big fat green candle? People will buy on the end of it. And even though the price isn't moving around for them, they are dreaming about that green candle repeating because it's so hot. It just happened. So they'll see like maybe in the last 3 months, there's been a 10x move and they're buying the top. Because I always wondered to myself before I researched this, I go, wait a minute, how are these people still excited even though they bought the top? And now I realize that. I go, oh, I know what they're doing. Linear extrapolation. They've seen it. They've literally, in their mind, it's high on drugs, friends. They're literally high on drugs. They're not seeing straight. They're seeing this plus 800% candle, and they're like, all right, this is coming for me. This is coming for me next. That's what they all believe is coming. And what they don't know is happening is they're getting dumped on by the people who told them it was coming. They're all filthy liars, all right? Like I said, in the next 3 months, they've lost all their money. Now the influencer is talking about a new narrative. Now, of course, maybe you don't lose all your money. Maybe it drops 50%, 60, 70%, but they're going to get crushed. Why? Because they don't really believe in what they're in. They're going to sell and they're going to buy the other narrative. They're like, oh, wait a minute. I guess Soylana was in the news and now it's not hot anymore. I made a mistake. Let's go buy this new other trash chain, Molestia. Let's see what's going on there. And it just keeps changing over and over again. If you're in crypto, you know, friends, you know that's the number one way to get destroyed. It's to fondle your soap in the shower. That's why I say never ever fondle your soap in the shower. It's one of my 10 bull commandments. As soon as you start taking a 30% loss here, buying something else at the top, moving it, you never ever make it. All right, ever. Because most likely, this is for most of strong core coins, if you're getting rid of them, it's because they haven't moved in a long time on average, and which means a lot of people are also frustrated, which means on average, you are selling such a critical inflection point that if you sell your bags and you rotate to something else, it's very easy for this very, very low dead bag to just do a 2x. And you know how devastating that is to you? Because if you're out and it does a 2x, you know the money you rotated, you can't buy back your bags anymore. You can only buy back 50% of your bags. So it's like you sold 100 grand of Hex at 1 cent, and then you go buy some other Molestia trash chain and it's sitting around, floating around. And then in that month or 2 months you're trying to play around, Hex goes from 1 cent to 2 cents. Now that 100 grand you took out, okay, you can't buy back all your Hex because you have to pay it up at 2 cents. This is what happens. This is how everybody gets destroyed. And then they've lost the confidence and they've lost the bothersome and care. They're like, oh, I'm not bothered for that. I can't, you know, I'll just go do something else, right? And then they go leverage trade. They try to make it back. And now that's the spiral. That's how everybody gets destroyed, all right? So I'm here to help you to stop you from doing it. So don't forget, man, these people, these narratives, they threw out Optimism coins. They threw out Arbitrum. They said bye-bye to Coinbase. Cosmos coins tried to take off. Friends, literally on my YouTube thumbnails, right? You know, the searching, okay, not my ones, but on my recommended, I am seeing YouTubers' videos from 1 to 3 months ago. And it's literally saying hot coins to buy in Cosmos because they're going to go up. I watched a few of them. Yeah. None of them went up. Okay. It went to call Soylana. But this person, for example, not just one, like 2 people did it. Now they're making Soylana videos. Okay. But I can literally, so it's by chance. YouTube recommended me their videos from like 2 to 3 months ago. Cosmos. Oh, it didn't work out. What happens there? What if you had a 10 grand portfolio? You have no idea what you're doing. You just allocated everything to Cosmos there. Got no idea, okay? You bought 10 of their coins. You got a 1 grand each, all right? Now you're watching Soylana up 800% somewhere. They don't know what they're doing. They're going to sell that. They're going to buy the top of Soylana thinking, oh, no, that's the right one. And then next month is going to be something else. So you really got to be sharp. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. They're all getting dumped on by insiders, right? If you don't learn, you're going to be one of the unfortunate people who still haven't retired in crypto after 4 years. Okay, that's the 100% best rule you have to learn. Don't think these people who haven't made it yet, don't think they weren't trying the right stuff at the start. They will. They were. It's just that they eventually gave up and they started fondling their soap in the shower. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all. Don't forget to call mum and dad. Do love and appreciate them. Catch you soon.